Just as a reminder, if you have a disability requiring reasonable accommodation, please contact the Personnel Division by telephone at 415-554-6000. Or, if hearing impaired, call our TDD line at 415-554-6900. Congratulations! You've been invited to participate in an interview process with the city. You've got an interview! Are you excited about this new opportunity? Are you ready for your interview? Nice hair, check. Nice suit, check. Nice shoes, check. Besides being appropriately dressed for an interview, remember to also learn about what the department does to get a better understanding about the position. Also, consider which aspects of the department's work and mission interest you. Here are two great questions to ask yourself. 1. Did I thoroughly study the job announcement? Do I know what the duties of the position are? Have I actually performed those duties? 2. Am I able to talk about how I meet or exceed the minimum qualifications? Can I explain how my experience and training support this? Before we dive into describing the day of the interview, here are two other common sense suggestions that would benefit you. 1. Please try to communicate your views about your previous employers in a positive light. Some applicants wrongfully believe that talking negatively about previous employers is good. This is not good. 2. Dress appropriately for the position you're applying for. This means that if you're applying for a job in the trades, you shouldn't wear a suit. You should wear your work clothes and boots. That's our common sense advice for preparing for the interview. Next are some things you'll encounter on the day of the interview. When you arrive, a staff person will greet you and may give you some paperwork to complete. You'll be escorted into the room where the interview will take place. There, you'll be interviewed by a panel of 3 people. If the interview is recorded, you'll need to recite a script detailing your name, date, and the position you're applying for at the start of the interview. A copy of the questions may be provided for you to follow along as reference. You'll be given a time frame to answer several questions. At the beginning of the interview, you'll be notified that if you have extra time at the end, you'll be given an opportunity to add more details. For example, there might be 25 minutes for 5 questions. So in that case, remember you have an average of 5 minutes per question. Try to provide as much information as you can in order to answer the question accurately and to the best of your ability. It's up to you to keep track of how much time you have for each question. You may be asked about your past work experience or relevant qualifications. It's up to you to elaborate on your work history, and it would be ideal to think of interview questions to practice with at home so that you're prepared to share your work history and problem-solving skills to the best of your ability. Make sure you answer the questions as completely as possible. Sometimes there are several parts to one question. Be sure to answer each part. Here's a whimsical example. Do you like ice cream? What is your favorite flavor? And do you prefer your ice cream in a bowl or on a cone? When you're done answering a multi-part question, please let your panelists know with a nod, a long silence, or a smile, so they can ask you the next question. These interviews aren't interactive. They're not conversations. The panelists aren't allowed to elaborate on the questions or ask you follow-up questions. In fact, to be fair to all candidates, the panelists are required to only ask the exact same questions for each candidate. In conventional interviews, panelists may ask you to elaborate on a particular point. However, we want to ensure a fair process for all participants. You'll not be provided this conversational interaction because we're striving to deliver an equal experience for each person. The panelists will be taking notes on what you're saying so they can review and score your answers later in a fair and accurate manner. Try not to be offended or make quick conclusions about how you're doing on your interview if your panelists take a lot of notes and don't provide small talk. It's not an indication of how well or poorly you're doing. At the end, if you have extra time, you'll be given an opportunity to add more details. Afterwards, the panelists will thank you and conclude the interview process. Remember, they can't make small talk or ask you follow-up questions. They may greet you warmly, wish you luck, and shake hands at the end of your session, but only if they provide that same greeting to each interviewee. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact the HR staff in charge of the recruitment process. We wish you great success at your interview and your future career endeavors. We're looking forward to seeing you soon.